welcome to It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and back this week with us is the Director of Athletics for Troy, and that's Jeremy McClain. And Jeremy, you're just back from Houston at the Final Four, and with one of the student athletes for Troy, Tolver Dozier, and a great opportunity for him to represent Troy in a big setting.
Yeah, it was really neat to see him in that environment, and really for Troy to be represented. He was part of the Elite 90, which is basically the top student athlete from each championship throughout the year, and so he qualified as the top athlete last year for our men's golf team in the NCAA championship, and I think his GPA is 3.9, 3.95. So he definitely earned the right to be there as kind of the definition of what a student athlete is. And he's a great ambassador for Troy, and so it was good to get to spend a few minutes with him, he and his new bride, and get to see him out. He was honored at halftime of the second game of the Final Four games, and so it was a great experience.
And I know that's one thing you like to talk about, and all the coaches like to talk about, is these people are here to play sports, but they're also here to get a good education and graduate, and that's very important.
That's right, and so that's why I kind of point to him and many of our student athletes. But that's a great example of really what we're trying to do and why we're here. He's a young man who had success in his sport and had success academically, and has just a really bright future. He'll continue to go down the path of playing golf and see how far that takes him, but if and when that day ends, he'll have an opportunity to be successful in whatever he chooses to do.
All right, well, since we're on golf, let's talk about the golf teams. I know the men, they're about to start playing at the Hootie up in South Carolina, and that's put on by Darius Rucker of Hootie and the Blowfish. So that's going to be an exciting tournament for them. I know Matt Terry said they get to listen. They're going to put on a little concert, so that'll be fun, but also some good competition up there.
Yeah, great experience. They obviously have had a great run here this spring and positioned themselves well for postseason. This will be a real test, a real measuring stick. The field there is top to bottom, just really elite teams, and so we'll get to see where we're at as we prepare to move into the latter part of the year, and a good test for our guys.
But the women's golf team, I mean, what can you say about them right now? I know that the analogy in baseball, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, for when the hitter is on fire, the ball just looks like a watermelon coming to him. I don't know what the analogy is for golf, but it's just going well for them right now.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch them, develop even throughout the year. I think early on they were trying to find themselves, and the coaches and their student athletes done a great job of kind of coming together and finding their groove, and have won several tournaments this spring, and just really excited about what the rest of this spring holds.
Yeah, I know we'll talk to Mark Barnes of women's golf later, and Fatima Fernandez-Cano has just continued to play well. I think that's her third individual title, or maybe more than that, but she's done really well.
It's actually her fifth in eight tries.
Wow.
And so, I kind of always go back to batting average. That's not the case in golf, but if we talk, level of success, that's just out the roof as far as winning tournaments as an individual, and just hard to even comprehend to win at that level. And she just continues to get better, and it's been fun to watch her teammates kind of rally around that too.
Baseball team was at home this weekend, and actually last week against Alabama State with got a few good wins. Won 3 out of 4 this week. A tough New Orleans team that's been playing pretty well, and some pretty rough conditions with the wind just blowing straight out all weekend. If anybody was there, they know what I'm talking about. But they got the bats rolling, and that's what they've been looking for. Yeah,
that's right. It kind of has been kind of two halves to the season from the standpoint of early in the year it was pitching and defense, and that's how we were winning ball games. And so the last couple of weeks, really the bats have started to come alive, and to get 2 out of 3 from a UNO team that was, whose RPI is in the 30s, is a great series, and will really help us from a resume standpoint as the season continues. And then you talk about starting this homestand, and now that's 3 out of 4. We got about a 9 or 10 game homestand here, and that's 3 out of the first 4 that we've won, and you want to be successful in this homestand and kind of prepare yourselves for the rest of the home stretch of the season, and so it's a great start for us.
And I know they got Samford at home this week, and Samford, they're looking for some revenge after a tough loss against them in Birmingham, and then playing Appalachian State, which is a chance to pick up some good wins and gain some ground in the Sun Belt standings.
You bet. Samford poses a great challenge for us, beat us pretty handily early in the year at their place, and so I know our guys will be prepared to hopefully for a little payback. And then, like you said, I think App State has struggled a little bit in the conference, and every team that comes in to play is capable of winning a series,
right.
and so you don't ever look past anybody, but an opportunity to hopefully, being at home, make up some ground in the standings.
And then I know softball was on the road. They were also out of conference this weekend, went up to South Carolina, played them close, and almost came back in that second game. But 2 tough losses. But that's something that can prepare you for the rest of the Sun Belt schedule and hopefully in the tournament.
You bet. I think over the past 10 days or so, with playing Lafayette at home series, and then playing South Carolina this past weekend, a couple of games, really kind of like you said, hopefully prepares us for the stretch run, and so we're on the road again this weekend at Louisiana Monroe, get back into conference play, and have a chance to gain some ground in the standings, and excited about where we're headed there.
And then I know still a lot going on. Tennis is in action, track and field, they're getting down to the wire. So a lot of teams kind of wrapping things up. Any highlights from those teams?
Yeah, I think from a tennis perspective, I think both of our programs have continued to improve as the spring's gone on, and are both positioned pretty well as we start heading towards postseason, and both have a chance to compete there. And then track and field, I think continues to improve. This past weekend set some new personal records, and we've got a young squad there, but they continue to work hard, and excited about where that's headed, and you can see the development every time they go out, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Something we've been talking about for a while now is finally going to be here this weekend, and that's the Hall of Fame ceremony and all the events going on with it this weekend. So we'll just tell people about it again one more time.
Yeah, no, so excited about it's Hall of Fame induction this weekend, April 9th, Saturday evening. At Trojan Arena. Tickets are still available. You can buy a ticket or a table to attend that event. It's one of the best events we do throughout the year. It's just really special. We've got 8 very special people going in this year from really all walks of the athletic spectrum, from a former broadcaster, a former AD, to student athletes from across the board. And so it's going to be a great group. It's going to be a great event. And so I would ask folks to come out and support that, and the information's up on our website.
Okay.
If they want to call in and reserve a table or a seat, and so excited about that. Then we'll also be playing a scrimmage game. Our football squad will be scrimmaging on Saturday around noon, and obviously we'll be playing baseball this weekend too. So it'll be a full weekend. It'll be a fun Hall of Fame weekend for us, and really looking forward to it.
And I know a lot of fans are looking forward to seeing the football team. There's a lot of new faces, a couple of new quarterbacks on the roster, freshmen that have been highly touted. So a chance to get familiar with some of those players this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Like you said, I think it's fun to see some of our younger players take that next step and move into different roles. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I know our coaches are excited about where we're headed with that.
So again, any interest in going to the Hall of Fame ceremony, just go to TroyTrojans.com. You can find information there, or just call the athletic office and you can get all the information.
Absolutely, call our office and we'll get you set up.
All right, thanks, Jeremy, and look forward to everything this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and I'm here to talk baseball with the head coach of the baseball team, and that's Coach Mark Smart. And Coach, welcome back, and I know
Thank you.
Good week for y'all last week. You talked about being back at home and how well you play at home, and you ended up winning 3 of 4, beat Alabama State on Tuesday, then took 2 of 3 from New Orleans. So overall, were you pleased with the week?
I was, Jonathan. We got off the routine a little bit. We played a great Tuesday night game against a good Alabama State team. We pitched great, won 8-0. Corey Gill was fabulous in that start. We got rained out Friday night, which got us off the routine a little bit, and so we bounced back and had to play the doubleheader on Saturday. And I think for some reason our team didn't get the same time the game started. we weren't really ready to play for some reason. We didn't play very well that first game, and they beat us 10-6. We didn't pitch, we didn't hit, we didn't do much. But I was really proud of our team. I got after them in between games because I wasn't terribly pleased about Game 1, and they really responded. They played very well in Game 2 and a solid win. Houston Mabry was great in that start. Our bullpen was good enough. We scored runs. And then I thought Sunday might have been one of our best performances here of late. We were real solid in everything we did. We won 9-4. We had a 3-run inning that we gave up that got away from us a little bit early in that game. But our offense was very solid. We hit some balls hard. We played well defensively. And overall, as a whole, we pitched really well. So 3 out of 4 is a solid week. Obviously, I was disappointed in that one loss, how we lost.
Right.
We just didn't play well. Right. But we bounced back and won that series, and so I was glad to be back home. We've had a long stretch on the road, and I think our team enjoyed being at home again.
And I know something you had been talking about was seeing the bats come alive, that you were just waiting on it. And it looked like it may have clicked this weekend, especially in that second game. I know the wind may have had a little bit of factor,
No
those
doubt.
balls going out,
No doubt.
out a little bit, but still hitting the ball solid. And then in Sunday's game, getting some extra base hits, and that's something you were looking for.
Well, we haven't done a lot of that, Jonathan. Early in the year, we struggled to score, and we weren't getting those extra base hits, and certainly not many home runs at all. We had only hit 6 coming into this weekend. And lo and behold, Saturday in the doubleheader, we hit 6, which was like, wow, where did that come from? But it was great to see. And it's funny, when one happened, the other one happened, and then the next thing it just kind of came in bunches. And then yesterday we had an inning where we went double homer to score 6, and we haven't done a lot of that. So I have been seeing some signs of that. I think the weather change maybe helped that a little bit. The wind was blowing out, which it has not done most of the year. But it was good to see our offense is starting to make a move a little bit. We've scored 8 or more runs, I think, in 8 of our last 9 games. So we are doing better things there. Now we need to focus on merging those two, pitching well and scoring runs to really make a stretch run here.
And speaking of offense, one of the top offenses in the country is coming in this week, and that's Sanford. In Birmingham earlier this season, it was a tough loss up there against them, and now you get to bring them back. I know you want to play better in this game.
No doubt. It's an in-state game, so it's important for a lot of the right reasons. We recruited some of their players. They recruited some of our guys. Everybody kind of knows everybody. They kicked us pretty good at their place, so I'm hopeful our team will respond in the right way. But they can really swing the bat. They are one of the more powerful offenses in the country. I'm not sure if they're leading. The stats usually come out early Tuesday, the end of the week stats. I'm not sure if they're leading the country in homers, but I know they're in the top 3 or 4. Their 3-hole guy's got a chance to be a first-round draft pick. He's a special player, outfielder that can run, hit, throw, do a lot of things. So it's going to be a challenge. They've been great in their midweek games because they can score.
Right.
And their weekends, they've hung in there, but they're going to score on Tuesday. So we're going to start Evan Hebert, who was in our weekend rotation, and we made a shift this weekend. And Evan's very capable. He did not throw, obviously, against them last time out, so I'm hopeful he can give us 5 or 6 innings and we can turn it over to the bullpen with a chance to win. But he'll have his hands full of that powerful lineup for sure.
And then back in Sunbelt action this coming up weekend against Appalachian State. What do you know about them?
Well, App State, year 2 in the league. We had that turnover a couple of years ago. They really struggled last year. They finished last place, and they started out very slow this year. They did win their last series with Little Rock at home, 2 out of 3, and I can attest to you, Little Rock's really good.
Right.
They whipped us pretty good. So they're playing better. They're an awfully young team, Jonathan, and sometimes youth early in those conference games really struggle to figure out how to win those games.
Right.
So I'm thinking this past weekend they certainly are going to come to Troy with more confidence. So we'll have to be at our best to win that series.
All right, Coach. So Tuesday, that game will be at 6 o'clock. Friday at 6, and then Saturday will be.
We move it up to 1 o'clock, Jonathan, so we don't conflict with our Hall of Fame night on Saturday night, which is going to be a wonderful event. That is one of the, circle the date calendars on our calendar every year. Great group of inductees and a wonderful event in the arena. I'm glad we're playing at 1 so that we can attend because I know several of the inductees personally, and so it's going to be a great weekend. We got a lot of activities around campus, football scrimmage, soccer, a lot of things going on, culminated with the Hall of Fame. And then I like, obviously being at home Tuesday and the weekend is a good thing for our team.
And one thing I just did want to bring up, 80s weekend was over the weekend, and how was that celebration?
That was terrific, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Of course, it was centered around the 1986 championship reunion and 30 years and the guys that I played with. And we had the largest group of players we've ever had back in any of our reunions. And it was just a wonderful time to be with those guys. And I've told a couple people, the rain out Friday I don't think helped our team.
Right.
But it kind of helped me personally because I was able to spend a lot of quality time with my teammates without the game process. Because if we'd have played Friday night, I would have had to do that way after the game, and who knows what that would have led to. But we had a great turnout. Our current players, I think, enjoyed being around those guys. The 80s weekend I thought was a good thing. I think our players at least learn more about the 80s music that they didn't know about. So all in all, I think it went well. And for me personally, it was a very positive weekend because I got to spend a lot of time with my former teammates.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and look
for
forward to
having
the
me.
games this week. All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and I'm here with Alex Hupp of the softball team, one of the assistant coaches. And Alex, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Y'all were on the road last weekend in non-conference play, took a trip up to South Carolina to face South Carolina. So some teams, when they go out of conference during the middle of the season, they'll maybe play down, try to play a cupcake to get some wins. But y'all played some tough competition, maybe to help you later in the year. What did you think of playing up against South Carolina?
Yeah, we always want to play the best competition because, we're trying to be there.
Right.
And, playing tough competition like that is, it's never going to hurt you, especially when going into this back half of conference for the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt's very tough.
Right.
And, every game matters in the Sun Belt. And, a lot of these teams in the Sun Belt can beat any team in the country. And, when we're trying to, make a statement and keep going and keep building our program, we do want to play that tough competition. And just like you said, it will help us and benefit us coming in this back half.
Now, you didn't pick up a win, 2 tough losses, but the second game y'all fought back, almost came back, and were able to almost tie it up. How'd you think of the team's play up there?
Yeah, it was, didn't come on top, didn't really, do very well on Saturday. There was glimpses of, a couple people stepping up and a couple, underclassmen that really have started to step up. And, and when it came down to Sunday, very proud of the girls. It's one inning that was pretty uncharacteristic for us, but when we came back and fought, we won the late innings. Right. And that's something that our program and with Coach Mullins, we really try to instill in the girls is winning those late innings. And they did that. And, we didn't come out on top, but there was a lot of fight in that team. And that was playing Troy softball. And that's what we want to do. And we got back to doing that and just playing our game. And, we just didn't have enough innings.
Well, you're going to be back on the road on Wednesday as you head to face Auburn, another top team in the country. What is your game plan going into that one?
The same thing. We try to really prepare our girls, and as coached out, we do film. We see what the pitcher's tendencies are. We see what the hitter's tendencies are for this other team and, just preparing. We have, we're very close to Auburn, so we're able to catch a lot of their games. And, when going into every single team, we prepare the girls the same way. We play Troy softball. We're worried about us, and we have the game plan. When it goes into, pitch calling or, just, the game plan up at the plate or anything, what we're looking for. But, it's another team. It's another team on our schedule that us Trojans, we want to beat. So, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, and then coming up this weekend, you're back on the road again as you head to Louisiana Monroe, back in Sun Belt play. And what do you know about the Warhawks?
Yeah, they're a good team. They're definitely a good team. They've got good pitching. They've got every aspect of the game. That's something that, we just got to take care of. But, when it comes to Warhawks, we're just going looking in there to make ourselves comfortable and confident. And we're looking forward to getting back into Sun Belt play. We're going to have great practice from these competitive teams that we're just playing and just looking forward to coming back and getting those wins towards our record in conference.
Now, I know it's been a little bit of travel this week. You went to South Carolina, coming back home, back to Auburn, back, and then going to Louisiana. Is that going to affect your team at all, or is that just part of it?
It's just part of it. And honestly, not a lot of teams in the country, I feel, had a lot of time spent at home. We were home for a very long time. Right. So, I mean, it has really benefited us, I think, and benefited our players, especially in the classroom with being home so often, being able to physically be in the classrooms here at Troy, with being here the whole month of February. It's really helped us, and I think the girls are still feeling, energized and being able to recover and relax when we're here. And so when we're going on the road right now, our girls are good. We make sure they're stretched. We have our film session. We have our stretching sessions. Each girl has, the foam rollers and all that stuff. So, yeah, no, I think they're good. I think they're ready they enjoy being on the road.
All right, Alex. Well, you start things off this Wednesday against Auburn, so good luck there.
Thank you so much.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and I'm here with the head coach of the women's golf team, and that's Coach Mark Barnes. And Bart, I know it's been a pretty solid season for y'all. Things started off maybe a little slower than you had hoped, but in recent weeks things have really picked up, and as a team y'all have been playing really well. Can you just kind of give us a recap of things?
Well, Jonathan, I appreciate it. I hadn't been on Tea Time in a while. A lot of turnover off of last year's team.
Right.
Obviously, very successful team last year. Graduated some seniors, so we had some transition, brought in 3 new, players to our lineup. So I think anytime you make that much of an adjustment, you got some new players, you got some young players, that there's going to be some transition, and maybe got off to a little bit of a slow start. But there at the end of the fall, play started to pick up.
Right.
We did win one tournament in the fall, Jacksonville State. I thought we played pretty well there, but not necessarily our best. But going into the spring, we set some goals pretty high, and I feel like the girls really took it very seriously. Their work ethic really showed kind of coming out of the winter, and a lot of the hard work they've put in now in this recent run of play has really started to show. Played 4 tournaments in the last 3 weeks. I think we've had an 8th at a really, really strong field at Augusta, a win at Sanford's tournament, a tie for 6th at another really strong field in Kennesaw, Georgia, hosted by Kennesaw State, and then kind of ended that run with a really, really big victory, for us at Ole Miss at Oxford's golf course. So just really feeling good about how the way the season ended and the momentum that the girls are carrying right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I know golf is, the way college golf is played, it's kind of a team sport, but you do have individuals that are kind of leading the way, and one of those is Fatima Fernandez-Cano, and she has been playing really well. I believe Jeremy told us earlier in the show she has won 5 of her last 8 tournaments. I mean, as he said, in batting average, that's pretty good.
It's really remarkable. You just really don't see that in golf. I mean, if you have a college season and you win 1 or 2 times, that's good. When you're talking about 75, 80 people in a field, only one person can win. So what she's been able to do this year is pretty remarkable. Her stroke average on the year is it's in the top 15 in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're really talking about some rarefied air. Winning 5 out of 8 starts, including a big one this week by 5 shots. She won, I think, by 8 shots a couple weeks ago at Sanford's event. So she's really playing some great golf. It's very impressive to watch, even as a coach. I get a little caught up in watching it because she really can make it easy, make it look easy on certain days. So she's definitely played a major role in this run of play that we've had, but we're getting a lot of support for her and from the rest of the girls. And one highlight, we got a freshman this year, Bianca Lobauer. She's a freshman from South Africa. Her spring has really, really been strong. I think she's going to get some serious consideration for freshman of the year in the Sun Belt. So she's really helped out, as well as some great play from Lindsey Harrison, Gabby Oubre, Becca. They're just all kind of chipping in at the right times. It seems like they're really meshing well together, and I'm really just pleased with the run of play we've had lately.
And you had some holdovers from last year's team that ended up winning in the conference championship. And
Right.
how much have they helped, those leaders kind of help those younger players get a hold of things?
Well, they've helped a lot. I mean, obviously the confidence that they have, kind of knowing that they've been in those situations and had success, Becca Horner and Fatima, there is definitely that confidence that kind of, it's going to trickle down to the other players, right. and after a little bit of time, you kind of have seen, I have seen it happen in the spring. Is they're starting to really come into their own. They're starting to get comfortable as a group. They're getting comfortable with their games, and no better time than right now, really.
That's exactly right. I know coming up next for y'all is going to be the Sun Belt Tournament, and that's a big one for y'all as you look to make another run at regional play, and that's going to be at a new course for y'all this year in Destin. Give us a little preview of that one.
Well, we're really excited about it. This year's tournament will be at the Raven Golf Course in Sandestin. First year for the women to be there. The men's team were there last year, so I'm thinking we're going to have some pretty good notes there. Obviously, too, we've got some players from Florida, some players that have been on that course, and so I think we're going to be comfortable with that style of play. Obviously, staying in the South, a lot of the grasses will be the same, so we should feel pretty comfortable. And I think with this couple weeks off here before we tee it up, get some rest, and work on a couple of things, and hopefully just continue playing the way we've been playing.
What about the rest of the Sun Belt field? What do you know about them?
Well, last couple of years, Texas State has fielded some really strong teams. They've played well through the seasons, and they've played well at conference. So I look for them to be strong again. I look for them to play well. Let's see. Georgia Southern's got a new team this year. They're joining the league, so they'll be there. Georgia State's usually pretty good. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us. But I'm optimistic. If we can play our best, I like our chances. I think we got a good shot.
All right, Coach. Well, I know it's still a couple weeks out for that one, and but for you, it's going to be right around the corner. So, thank you for joining us, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here with a former Troy athlete who is now working with Troy athletes, and that's Jake Tucker, who is now assisting with the women's golf team. And Jake, welcome back to Troy.
Thanks for having me.
I know you've kind of been traveling around a little bit as you've been working on your professional career, trying to make it on the pros tours. And how's that been going?
It's been going good. It's a lot of fun. It's a big transition from college golf.
Right.
But I started out, I played a couple tournaments on the Swing Thought Tour, and then I went to Latin America, Colombia, to try to qualify for the Latin America Tour, and missed by 2 shots, but then came back and had my first top 10 in a Swing Thought event. So it's been fun.
Okay, and so in your downtime right now, you're back in Troy, and you were doing some working with the women's golf team. So transitioning to the coaching side of things, how's that been? It's
been awesome. I've went to one tournament with the team, and it was at Sanford. We got a 31-shot victory, but for me right now, it's just learning as much as I can from Bart. He does a great job with the girls, and it's been a lot of fun to see how he interacts with them, and it's fun.
And something that's kind of allowed you to come back and help and be able to work on your game still is the facility over there. I know Coach Materi and Bart are not going to turn you away because they've got that facility out there for current and former golfers. What has it been like to continue to be able to work out there? It's been awesome. I moved back to Coleman, which is where I'm from originally, and didn't feel like my game was getting to where I felt like it could, moving back to Troy and practicing here. The facility's been great. The 9 holes that we have it's really hard. It's fun to play, and then all the new equipment. It's been awesome. Now, is coaching something that you look to continue with, or what do you want to do? I'm looking to help Bart as long as he lets me. It's just something for me to do when I'm not traveling to tournaments. Keep me busy. I can continue to practice. But then help him with whatever he needs. Now, something I asked him about was about the upcoming Sun Belt tournament, and you've played in a few of those. And what are those kind of tournaments like? They're intense. I mean, for us, my first 3 years, we weren't going to get a bid due to our ranking, so we had to go in and try to win every time. So it was always very intense for us. In the Sun Belt, there's some strong teams in there. I'm glad to be traveling to the Raven with them because my senior year we had Sunbelt at the Raven. So I'm hoping to be able to give the girls some good notes in the practice rounds and help them whenever they need it in the tournament. Now, having some familiarity with that course and knowing the women's team, is it something that can kind of play into their game at all? I think so. I mean, obviously they'll be playing from different distances, right, so that'll be a little bit different. But just knowing the green complexes and where to put the ball in the fairways, I hope that I can help them as much as I can. All right, Jake. Well, good luck as you continue your pro career, but glad to have you back here at Troy and working with our athletes, so thank you. Thank you. All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time.